Ipatia Apostolides, and she immigrated to the United States at the age of 4 with her family. She holds an MFA degree in creative writing from National University, a BA degree in biology from Western Reserve University with minors in music and theater, and a medical assistant certificate. While a student at Case Western, she co-founded and was president of the Hellenic Student Association and hosted the weekly Greek radio community show. As a violist and violinist, she has performed with the Cleveland Philharmonic Orchestra, the Hamilton Fairfield Orchestra, the Cleveland Women's Orchestra, and the Frederick Symphony Orchestra. She was employed as a research biologist and a lab manager at the Cleveland Clinic Foundation. She was a data manager at the Bone Marrow Transplant Center at Children's Hospital, Cincinnati. PRCO supervisor at Georgetown University. She has co-authored 10 medical articles, and during this time she published several poems in print poetry journals, Feelings, EJI, Poetry Journal, Arkansas, and online. Several of her poems received honorable mentions. After she married and became a stay-at-home mother, Mrs. Apostolides began writing seriously. She's the author of 3 best-selling novels, Lips's Daughter, The Lion and the Nurse, and The Greek Maiden and the English Lord, in Greek and in English. She also published a poetry book, Candlelit Journey. Her MFA thesis became her historical novel, Helena's Choice. In 2014, she founded and directed the Hellenic Writers Group of Washington, D.C., and conducts free monthly poetry and writing workshops at the Hellenic Center in Bethesda. Please, I have a great honor to introduce to you Ms. Ipatia Apostolides.
The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates has stated, "Know thyself." Know thyself don. Who are we? How are we defined? These are questions that not only philosophers and psychologists have explored throughout the centuries, but also fiction writers as they try and define characters in their stories. When we write about different characters in fiction, we need to define their physical characteristics, their families, their beliefs, and education. Otherwise, our identity will be imprinted in their character, and they will end up with the same motivations, beliefs, and drives as ours. So writers have a responsibility to themselves and their readers to become pseudo-psychologists in understanding human nature in order to write about humans with all their strengths and weaknesses. As a fiction writer and a lifelong learner, I recently took courses in positive psychology from the University of Pennsylvania and discovered that we have 24 character strengths. These character strengths are derived from the 6 virtues: wisdom and knowledge, courage, humanity, justice, temperance, and transcendence. If you were here before for Professor Barus's talk, he had covered a few of these here. Under these virtues are the character strengths. For wisdom and knowledge is creativity, curiosity, judgment, love of learning, and perspective. Under courage is bravery, persistence, honesty, and zest. Under humanity is love, kindness, and social intelligence. Under justice is fairness, leadership, and teamwork. Under temperance is forgiveness, modesty, prudence, and self-control. And transcendence has appreciation of beauty, gratitude, hope, humor, and spirituality. All these different pieces of the human character define who we are. Your name, your family, your religion, your education, and motivation. There's probably a few more that I might have missed. One of the mistakes that new writers tend to do is write about perfect characters. But no human is perfect. And writing realistic characters requires inserting character flaws or weaknesses to our characters like greed, impulsiveness, pessimism, selfishness, and so on. This is a task, by the way, that fiction writers are constantly battling with, trying to identify the characters in our stories. We can't make them too perfect. As I explored my top character strengths, I found out that leadership was one of them. I was puzzled. Me, a leader? All my life I thought I was a follower. So I read some more of these character strengths, more about them, and began to piece together this puzzle of who I am by going back in my life and studying it. a bit more and I realized that I'm not alone. We all are searching in one form or another for our identity. Do you know who you are? I mean, yes, my Greek name defines me. By the way, growing up in East Cleveland with a name like Ipatia Apostolides was like asking for a reason to quit school. The children quickly adopted me and gave me names like Patty Duke, and my last name morphed into Calmanduras and Cucamanduras. But I survived that period. For fiction writers, choosing a name that matches the personality of the character is important. Some writers, like myself, write a family tree with all the names and relationships of each person. My family defines me. Both my parents came from Lipsi Island, a tiny Dodecanese island in southern Greece. By the way, my mother is visiting here today from Florida. She's over there, so give her a welcome. Yeah. They came from a tiny Dodecanese island in southern Greece, yet they had big hearts, and even when we struggled to make ends meet after my father became disabled, they were always there for us 5 daughters. So as a writer, it is good to know your character's family, where they were born, and if the parents are living, etc. This portrays a rich texture and provides some complexity to the setting. Here I am with my 2 older sisters, Rena and Helen. The photo was taken months before we arrived in America. I'm the one on the left. So once you've established your character's name, family, and relationships, then you start building their character strengths and making